Let's bring in the guests now. Sajjan Kumar is joining me this morning. We have Bhaskar Ghosh from the BJP and Dr. Pooja Tripathi of the Congress Party. Dr. Tripathi, beginning with you. I mean, the Congress Party did have its representatives in the Joint Parliamentary Committee. The 25 amendments which have been recommended, which is their part of the new draft bill, includes all the recommendations which have been made by various MPs across parties. Then why and what really is the issue here? If you have, disagreements, voice that on the floor of the House. I mean, the platform of Parliament, of course, is for deliberations.
You know, Maria, JPC was constituted for discussion. JPC for every other bill, for be it any minor or a major bill, you have a clause by clause discussion, which didn't happen in JPC. The way this Waqf amendment bill has been bulldozed in JPC is for everyone to see. The opposition members who were part of the JPC, they suggested 44 amendments, and when Kiran Rijiju introduced it in the draft for the reading of the members, the amendments were not there. When there was whole hue and cry and opposition walked out and raised a privilege motion against the Minister of Minority Affairs, then, they backtracked and introduced the 44 amendments. They didn't consult the stakeholders. And this is not me saying, this is the MP Nasir Hussain, who was part of JPC from the Congress. He went on to say that 97 to 98% stakeholders who were consulted, gave suggestions against the bill. And the way this JPC was handled, the way the opposition members, we saw all the heated discussion. We saw major JPC meetings, the opposition walking out of it, saying they are not being heard, they are not being given a platform. And that's not the fraudulent way that any bill that pertains to the majority of the country should be taken care of. And that we have the first major contention. Other than the five major issues that Congress as a party has raised, we have a problem with how this bill was tackled in JPC itself. It was not discussed. The amendment was not included. They were later redacted. And that's how, if government wants to go by this way, and government has done that in past too, be it the Krishi bill. The problem is they don't have the numbers, so they had to send it to JPC. But the way JPC was handled, this was very, very, disappointing. And that's why opposition, the whole India Bloc has come together to oppose the bill.
Dr. Tripathi, I will not be agreeing on that the numbers are not with them. Today is the situation that the entire NDA stands together on this legislation. We were expecting some kind of opposition to come in from JDU because it has a minority constituency, which is a captive audience of Nitish Kumar. You were expecting some kind of opposition to come in from the TDP. Ma'am, let me finish my point, please. Yes. So, but today the entire NDA is standing together. It is their show of strength which will be playing out in the Lok Sabha today. So that is what the picture is. But this charge of bulldozing, perhaps Bhaskar Ghosh will be able to respond to this. Bhaskar Ghosh, there are enough and more issues. The point being made by the opposition is this really something that you can thrust upon a community which may be opposing it?
See, Maria, first of all, we have to understand these two bills is being placed today. One is the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024 and the Mussalman Waqf Repeal Bill 2024. And what is the objective of both the bills? The objective of the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024 is to amend the Waqf Act 1995 to redress the issues and challenges in regulating and managing the Waqf properties. The Amendment Bill seeks to improve the administration and management of the Waqf properties in India. It aims to overcome the shortcomings of the previous act and enhance the efficiency of the Waqf boards by introducing changes such as renaming the act, updating the definition of Waqf, and improving the registration process, increasing the role of technology and management of Waqf boards. So the whole problem is lying here, that when the government is coming with the improving the entire administration of the Waqf board, that is the problem with the opposition. And the way the opposition has been participating in the JPC, there is a big ruckus going on, and Kalyan Banerjee and other opposition leaders, they are creating a big scene over there. Just creating a big scene over there, just to appease a section of the society who themselves needs to be needs this act to be changed. Then the primary objective of the Mussalman Waqf Repeal Bill is to repeal the Mussalman Waqf Act 1923, the colonial era legislation that has becoming outdated and inadequate for the managing the Waqf properties in modern India. The repeal aims to ensure the uniformity and transparency and accountability in the administration and management of the Waqf properties under the Waqf Act 1995, thus claiming inconsistencies and ambiguities caused by the continued existence of this redundant law. The question is that entire Waqf property, which is
Okay.
second largest after the Indian Railways, the entire property have been totally grasped and totally controlled by a vested interest, by a group of people who has got a vested interest over there. And what government wants, that if it is a property
Yes.
of the
So
country, property
let's
of the
bring
government, it should come back to them. Yeah, that's the objective. So if this
I
is
mean,
the
to
objective,
expect,
Maria,
sir,
then why
to
this
expect,
rockets?
I'm saying to expect a bipartisan consensus was too much, perhaps, and that is the reason why we are seeing, 8 hours to be when the bill, the new draft bill, which has 25 amendments, recommended by the JPC to be brought up. Sajjan, the bill under consideration is essentially looking at completely amending the 1995 Waqf Amendment Act, which was revised, of course, in 2013. Of course, it is proposing a rename as well to this to this bill, but the fact here is that it's important to underscore the need of reforms, but at the same time, the larger socio-political shift which may be seen after this bill is passed by the Lok Sabha. The fact that the entire NDA stands united is a strong messaging which is coming in, because both Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar have a minority constituency to cater to. But if they have managed to convince their constituencies back home and they are taking that extra mile to come to the parliament and back this legislation, certainly means that there are voices within the community which is of the opinion that this Waqf bill or Waqf properties, which of course came with the advent of Islam. I mean, the Waqf, the idea of Islam is, and Waqf go centuries ago. So, that is where the issue is, that perhaps the modern day Muslims are prepared for these reforms, but certain groups may not be.
Yes, Maria, as you rightly pointed out, there is a policy side and there is a political side to the Waqf Amendment Bill. Now, policy side is about the intent of the government, about the procedural safeguards and the political ambience. Intent, the ruling party and dispensation has time and again said that they mean reform, bring efficiency, and the fear mongering is uncalled for. In terms of the institutional and procedural safeguards, it was sent to JPC, then stakeholders were listened to. Also, there are, as you pointed out, the constituencies like JDU and TDP who has minority constituency, and thereby they have raised the concern which must have been taken into consideration because there is a consensus within the NDA. And three, we also see, which is most important, like every bill, there is a need to bring reform and efficiency, and this is not for the first time it's happening. Even the Sachar committee report has mentioned about bringing more efficiency. There has been amendment in the past also in 1954, then in 60s, 1995, 2013 during UPA days also there was a talk. So I think more objection is not because there is a policy disagreement, but because of the political ambience, because it is being brought by the BJP government. That is one of the aspects. But here what is important, that within Muslim community, if you also see, there are multiplicity of the voices. So whether you cater to the orthodoxy within the community, minority community, or whether you cater to the progressive and the new generational voices, it is the choice with the political party. And I think the opposition, primarily the Congress party, if they make an excuse of using the Waqf issue as a political showdown and cater to the orthodoxy within the Muslim community, they are going to repeat what the blunder that they did during the Shah Bano case. And keeping that in mind, I think for opposition, it's a crucial choice that within Muslim community also we are listening to many voices who are demanding a reform for the work property the way it is inefficiently managed and it is beholden to a vested group. And that is why when the question of digitization, question of efficient registration is there, where is the claim of misusing it? It will be more transparent. So whether you cater to the orthodoxy and feudal sections within the community or to the more democratic voices is the choice that is left to the political classes.
Okay, so perhaps the Congress will be able to respond to this. Is it the opposition to this policy, or is this, politics playing out purely? Because you understand, and let's not forget the Sachar committee was constituted by you. The recommendations of the Sachar committee are out there in the public domain, and it has not been implemented till now. And, the need for streamlining, the need for reforms was all suggested by the Sachar committee itself.
Yeah, I was coming to the Sachar committee too. I remember Sachar committee when it was constituted, the Bharatiya Janata Party called it divisive and communal. And Sachar committee actually went on to recommend a 500 crore revolving fund for Waqf Development Corporation. And then Sachar committee had a very strong disagreement on inclusion of non-Muslims in the Waqf Council. And when you say, this is for technicality, this is for digitization, Mukhtar Abbas Ansari, the ex-Minority Affairs Minister, at the floor of Rajya Sabha has said that 99.9% digitization of Waqf properties has been completed. Then why this hue and cry about, digitization and things? And when it comes to, inclusion of non-Muslims, we have a very strong disagreement with this every religious community. The Article 26 of Constitution guarantees, the freedom to manage religious affairs, and every religious community knows its customs, traditions, and follows. You look at Ram Janmabhoomi, and I don't have a problem with it. Look at Ram Janmabhoomi Trust. The 15 members, do they have a Muslim community? Even it's mentioned that if the Ayodhya DM is a Muslim, then additional collectors to be nominated by central government will not be a non-Muslim. So
ma'am, there is a no. There is a difference. No. There is a difference between trust and Waqf. So let's not try and compare apples and oranges here. The functioning of the trust is very different from no.
When the Constitution guarantees
there is a problem in the interpretation.
Why are you imploding? Why are you, walking on the Article 25 and 26 of Constitution? These are the two major articles of Constitution. There's the freedom to manage religious affairs. And I just mentioned Sachar committee's recommendations. I just managed it, and digitization. And when you talk about inclusion of women, 2013 amendment has already brought this amendment.
The Waqf is a... Let me share a point with you. The Waqf is a highly regulated and clear concept of Islam, and the bill is going to further tighten and ensure that there is a regulation and transparency. That is with which that is the reason why this bill is being brought. So, politics aside, if we look at it purely from an apolitical prism, from the prism of what it can do for a community, then you will realize that this is what is needed at the present. It cannot continue to function the way it has been. Bhaskar Ghosh, I give you 30 seconds. Let's move ahead.
All right. First of all, let me tell you that this is wrong information that non-Muslim cannot non-Muslim cannot manage Muslim property, because in West Bengal, I know there is a famous temple in Birbhum districts of West Bengal, where Mr. Bobby Hakim, who is the present minister and the mayor, he is a member, he is a chairman of that Mandir committee. So similarly, if he could be the chairman of that temple committee, then why an Hindu cannot be a chairman of the Muslim Muslim properties of the Waqf properties or trust? So this is absolutely also goes against the constitution, that irrespective of the religion, it is not a religion-based constitution. Irrespective of religion, anyone could be administering the property. And what is the Waqf property? The Waqf property is irrevocable. I mean, they are irrevocable. I mean, they are not revocable. So the problem is that once you declare it irrevocable, and then you are managing and mastering for the benefit of a certain section of people. For example, I'm giving once the property is declared Waqf, it remains there forever, including the Bengaluru Idgah ground claimed as a Waqf property since 1850. And similarly, the Surat Municipal Corporation building claimed to be the historical use as a sarai during the Hajj in in the Mughal era. So those are very primitive and medieval age law which need to be amended.
Okay.
So what's
I've
wrong
just
with the
enough
Congress?
time.
That okay?
Okay, let's see how it plays out in Parliament. Let's see how it plays out in Parliament. Pooja Tripathi, Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh and Sajjan, thank you for joining us. A word from Aishwarya now. Aishwarya, so 8 hours is what it has been allocated in the Lok Sabha. Similar discussion will be playing out in the Rajya Sabha as well. You know, besides Jagdambika Pal, who is the joint parliamentary committee chairman of the Waqf bill, is any of the government ministers expected to speak? And from the opposition side, can we expect, say, a Rahul Gandhi or an Akhilesh Yadav to lead the opposition charge?
Well, at 9:30 a.m. is the Congress meeting inside the Parliament. Rahul Gandhi would be chairing that and addressing to all the Congress MPs, and they will be forming their own strategy. Yes, yesterday the sources clearly stated in the government and from the opposition camp after that meeting at 6:30 p.m. yesterday that there would be key speakers, there would be learned speakers from both the opposition and from the government camp. So we can see senior leaders also might be speaking, the ministers might be speaking from the government side, and from the opposition likes of Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav might speak, because it is something that the opposition had clearly stated that they would be opposing. The number game is with the government, as the alliance partners have made it clear that they are on board with the government on this, with all the contentions, the amendments that were suggested by the JDU, TDP had been enacted in the new law, which will be reintroduced by Union Minority Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju. But one thing is very clear on the part of the government: they wanted to pass it by tonight. Whether they will be extending the time by 8 hours, as it was mentioned by Parliamentary Affairs Minister, that the Speaker will sense the House as to how it goes, and then if the members request, then they will extend the time, but will pass tonight only. And then tomorrow they will send it to the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha will have its separate discussion and will return it to the Lok Sabha. So by 4th of April, we can confirm to our viewers that the Waqf Amendment Bill 2025 will be passed.
Yeah, so Waqf Amendment Bill will become a reality. By tomorrow, it will become a law, and then, of course, after the bill is passed by both the houses of Parliament, there'll be endorsement by the President of India, and then notification will be issued. So it is going to see the light of the day. The question really is, what will be playing out in the Lok Sabha? Is it opposition to a policy, or is it pure politics? And more for opposition's sake. And Waqf by user clause, which is being introduced, perhaps is also an important aspect of this legislation. We will continue to track this story very, very closely right here.